this was when like my YouTube was still like a fledgling.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
It was like a little fledgling business, right? I was making like a $1, right? I was hoping
I remember your first YouTube check was like $203, and you were like, "I got my first check," and me and Mom laughed, and we were like, "When's he gonna get a real job?"
Yeah. Well, once you hit $100, they send you a check. You have no idea how many months, and actually, I think it was like over a year. I was slaving away on shit to get up the ad revenue where they would send me a check for $100.
Right.
So that took a while. So I was still slaving away pretty hard trying to just get by, and but it was middle of the fucking day, and I was in my pajamas, living that hard YouTube life, and we ended up having some car towed. I forget from where, next door neighbors or something like that. But this tow truck.
No, he was coming. Was it the people that lived at that house before us were had a car out for repo?
That's what it was. Yeah. So he was parked out front. I come out there. I'm like, what's going on? And he's like, does I forget the person's name live here? And I was like, no. and I'm like, wait, aren't you my brother's friend? And he's like, yeah. Oh, you're Sam. Yeah. How you doing? And I was like, I'm doing pretty good. It's middle of the fucking afternoon. I have a goddamn bathrobe on, right? And I'm like, I'm doing pretty good. And he looks at me in my bathrobe.
He looks at the house.
He's looking like out his fucking. This is how he's looking at me. He's looking out his window of his tow truck. He looks at me in my bathroom, fresh faced, it's middle of the fucking day. I'm sitting there drinking like coffee, and then he looks up at the house, and at the time it was like pretty much brand new.
Yeah.
And but we were renting it, and I wasn't renting it. I was living with my mom, right? I was living with my mom in the upstairs thing with Abby, and Abby's like fucking embarrassed by it because she's living with her boyfriend's mom, and but she's not there. And he just looks up at the house, and he looks at me, and he goes, "You're doing pretty all right for yourself, aren't you?" And I'm sitting there thinking like, hey, I had Chick-fil-A today, chilling in my bathrobe, got playing fucking Skyrim upstairs. I just go, I am doing pretty good for myself. And then like after he left, I realized what he meant, and I was like, oh, he thought this place was mine.
Yeah.
I ain't got no fucking money.
Yeah.
You out of your mind? And I realized.
I explained that to him years later, and he died
He
laughing. Yeah, he was like, oh, man. He's like, I thought he lived there. I was like, nah, Sam wouldn't live there these days.
What's funny about it is I realized that getting older, this is a Linus Tech tip for you guys out there, is that you don't need to have money in order to have a house and a car and everything. You just need to have credit. That's all you need. The bank will give you whatever the fuck you want if you have credit.
Yeah, I'm just now learning that.
Yeah.
I was cash only.
I know that Jay-Z
I was a dirty
song.
ghetto kid for years.
That Jay-Z song was meant to be for black people to educate them about financial independence, but it taught me some things.
Did it?
Yes. And he says, I think the lyric is, you want to know why rich Jewish people own everything in the world? Credit. That's what he says. That's the lyric. And that's about the truest fucking thing in the world. Credit is a beautiful, don't fuck it up though. And by don't fuck it up, I mean, don't have a joint account with your wife. That's how you fuck it up.